Shalom Akim, this is Zion from the Greatmillstone playing tables camp. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashim Shai and double honors to the apostles and others of the Greatmillstone. Salutations to you brothers out there pushing his word in truth and sincerity. The topic I want to get into is the RFID microchip. And a couple articles I have, some of them date back as far as I believe May. So you brothers might have seen some of these articles. So I'm just going to bring a bunch of them out because just more so than ever do you see them, pushing this vibration of this cashless society. Okay, and that's those terms, cashless society and cashless, is synonymous with RFID microchip. Okay, which is synonymous with the mark of the beast in Revelations. Okay, the 13th chapter, Revelation, the 13th chapter. So a Cardless. This is out of the SF Chronicle, San Francisco Chronicle. By Thomas Lee, published on August 25th, 2017. It says, a cardless, cashless society is in our future. Visa Digital Chief predicts. And you're going to see in this article that basically they're saying that cashless doesn't necessarily mean, all of cards. They're saying cardless also. So a cardless and a cashless society is in our future, okay? So we're pushing even further away from cards. So you have like a picture here of it's a mobile payments. Not really sure what type of mobile payments this is, but you have various things of mobile payments like Android Pay, Apple Pay, PayPal, and different apps that you can get on your phone that you can upload your credit card to and just pay with your phone. Okay, as long as them terminals accept those methods of payments, which more so than ever are they accepting them types of payments. It says, by all accounts, Visa Inc. seems to be a well-running machine. The San Francisco financial giant far outpaces MasterCard, its largest competitor, in everything from payment volume to total transactions and card issued last year. Visa generated $14.1 billion in revenue and 9% jump from 2015. So basically, as you already know, Visa's a huge corporation, and they're paving the ways for a lot of this mobile payments, and they're the ones that are really pushing that cashless future, right? It says, but as ubiquitous as Visa cards have become, the company is preparing for a future without them. So as popular and as well known and as useful as Visa cards have become, they're pretty much they're trying to get to a future where you do completely without them, okay, and you're using more of a digital type of payment. An example, the RFID microchip, which is going to be that new digital cashless, cardless society. Visa has been giving a lot of thought to what it calls a cashless future, but in truth, it sounds a lot like a cardless future. For example, Visa recently unveiled a new technology that allows people to pay for goods and services by scanning a QR code on a mobile device, which a QR code is like a type of, type of barcode, you could say. It's a square type barcode. Visa is eyeing the technology for developing countries like India that lack the infrastructure to process card transactions. So they're paving ways for countries that don't have here it says lack the infrastructure to process card transactions. So they're coming up with technology that makes it easier for them, but really is a more advanced form, of cashless payments. Okay, but given the growth, ubiquity of smartphones in the United States, it wouldn't be hard to picture a time when we won't even have to carry plastic cards because all payments will be done mobile device to mobile device. Okay. So just more proof to prove that it's a cashless and cardless society, right? So they had a little Q&A, I guess, here with this Sam Schrager, head of digital products at Visa. I'm just going to read one of these questions and answers that they have here. Question, and cashless could mean cardless as well. And I'm going to put all these articles in the description box if you brothers want to read them for yourselves or whatever. I'm just kind of skimming through it, taking the meat out of it. And cashless can mean cardless as well. It sounds like you don't even need to take out your card. Answer is there's an evolution certainly toward more and more card-free forms of payment. Even if you look at the growth rate of e-commerce, it's all card-based, but not with actual cards. And that's growing much faster than the rate of retail, where people may be actually swiping or dipping a card. What the time horizon is for a cardless future, I don't know, which really is very soon, okay? But ultimately, that's why they're pushing so hard to get away from the cards. All right, they're trying to push that so-called future really close to where it's more of the near present. But ultimately, we are going to be in a position where you don't need a physical element to carry around with you to provide the information you need to pay. The information is stored on a mobile phone or a wearable device, or some combination of all those things. So that wearable device, okay, or some combination of all those things is, guess what? That RFID microchip, that mark of the beast. Okay, they should have just threw that in there. RFID microchip. Okay, the information is stored on a mobile device, which the RFID microchip has the technology that I'm talking about, the implantable RFID microchip that many people already have. Okay, or a wearable device. That wearable device, like I said, you already have people with that implantable device that are making payments with it, doing all kinds of things with it, using it as a form of identity. Okay, so it's they said it's going to take time just because people are very used to cards, but that's going to change pretty dramatically. See that? It's going to change pretty dramatically. Why? Because they're going to push this full throttle. Okay, and it's just going to, just one day, you're not going to have really cards being pushed as much as it is going to be more of a digital type of payment, like, for instance, the RFID microchip. Uber is an entirely cashless business in that I can pay the driver without a card. So they have many companies and businesses that don't even use cash, really don't even use cards either. Because, I mean, you don't have to actually swipe the card, is what I'm saying. So, did the emergency of... Actually, I'm going to jump down to this last question here. Would it surprise you to learn that the amount of cash in circulation is actually growing? As if that actually means something, right? It says, depending on geography, there are different behaviors around cash. In the United States, the cash in circulation and cash as a percentage of gross domestic product has actually been going up. But there are other countries where the opposite has happened. If you look at the sum of the Nordic countries, they're driven cash down to 2.5 or 3% of the economy. So these governments actually took very proactive measures to drive towards a cashless society. A lot of other countries have looked at India and said, we should start thinking about our futures as well. They really want to migrate away from cash. Ultimately, going cashless generates economic efficiency both for the merchants themselves as well as ease and simplicity for consumers. So they're pretty much telling you that even though cash might be on a rise and there's more circulation of cash, they're looking at these companies, or these countries rather, that are going cashless and seeing like how successful, so quote unquote, it's going successful for them, right? And that's what this person is saying, rather, that hey, ultimately going cashless generates economic efficiency, right? Both for merchants themselves as well as ease and simplicity for customers. That's what this individual said, kind of pretty much just to validate how better, I guess you could say, a cashless, cardless society would be. But really, we know, the men, okay, that have the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai, starting with Greatmillstone, know that it's all, Esau's, the so-called white man, the devil, hits his plan to RFID microchip everybody, okay? So, there's no real benefit to it. It's just Esau being the damn devil, okay? And he's going to push that RFID microchip. And he's going to, dress that dog shit up real nice and feed it to you. This is China's sprint to cashless society, well thought out. This is off the Straits Times. Okay, this was published on August 24, 2017. It says China's march to a cashless society has been spectacular and relentless. The drivers behind China's progression to cashless society have not been the government, its central bank, or state-owned commercial banks. Rather, the push came from ambitious and forward-thinking private enterprises, in particular the Alibaba Group and Tencent, the creator of Alipay and WeChat Pay, respectively. So they're saying that this cashless society that's being pushed so much is the um, enterprises and themselves, like these businesses themselves that are pushing it, right? That's what they're saying. So you have a lot of people on board with this cashless society. Okay, it says, I'm going to jump down. China did not evolve into a cashless society just for the sake of becoming cashless. Innovative and ambitious private enterprises paved the way and lured users through a well thought out strategy and by dishing out attractive incentives for people to go cashless. So you already know that those attractive incentives, you know that they're going to start pushing that heavy here in America, attractive incentives for that RFID microchip and these cashless payments. Okay, they're gonna bring in these people. Okay, they're gonna lure them in like sheep to the slaughter. Okay, because ultimately, if you take that RFID microchip, you're destined for death. Okay, this is out of the New York Post on April 26, 2017. So like this is a couple of months old already. So some of your brothers probably seen this article. It says study reveals we're getting closer to a cashless society, which I read 2 articles from August 24th, okay, and that's a few months ago. This one here, April 26th, is a few months ago, and you can see that there's articles still coming out that we are close to a cashless society. Okay, so this is what they're saying. It says more than a third of Europeans and Americans would be happy to go without cash and rely on electronic forms of payments if they could. More than a third is what they have here. All right. So there's actually people willing. So, but the thing is, like with the RFID microchip, is it doesn't matter if you're willing or not. You're going to be forced to take it, okay? And ultimately, everyone's going to take that chip except for the elect. So whether or not you're down with it or not, whether or not you want to go cashless or not, really is irrelevant, because when it's all said and done, they're going to push it on you, and you're going to have a choice whether you take it or you're going to starve and lose everything that you have. Okay, and only the men of Yahweh Shema Shai who have the faith and the spirit and the truth, the actual true knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, is going to be able to prevail and not take the mark of the beast and survive all them troublous times, right? So, like I said, it doesn't really matter how many people are willing to accept it. Okay, so then at least 20%. Pretty much do so, a study showed on Wednesday. The study, which was conducted in 13 European countries, the United States, and Australia, also found that in many places where cash is most used, people are among the keenest to ditch it. It goes back to my last article where it says how there's so much more cash being distributed, and it's on the rise from previous years, but people are willing to get rid of that cash. They don't really, they want another form of payment, and that's that cashless payment. Okay, which you have this little picture here. That's another form of cashless, cardless payment. He's paying with his mobile app. He doesn't have to even touch this reader. He can just put it near it, and through near field communication technology, he's able to make a payment, and it's able to take whatever digital currency, the money off of his account, wherever that may be. It says overall 34% of respondents in Europe and 38% in the United States said they would be willing to go cash-free, according to a survey conducted by Ipsos for the ING Bank website Ezonomics. 21% and 34% in Europe and the United States respectively said they already rarely use cash. So there's a lot of this is a pretty high percentage for people who don't want to use cash and are willing to get rid of cash completely. So I'm not going to really get too much into it. It says the survey also showed that in general, countries where cash is much in use were most likely to want to go cashless. So, like I said, countries that are using cash the most are really looking to go cashless. Next article is Visa offers small businesses $10,000 to ban cash. This was on July 15th, 2017. I know me and one brother, Debak, we had touched lightly on this on one of our videos we did a couple I think last month, a couple weeks ago or whatever. But this goes back to those incentives that China did. China does certain incentives, right, for cashless. This is an incentive, for companies to go cashless. A $10,000 ban for cash. So this is what they say. It says Visa. This is what they said. Visa, the world's largest retail payment firm, is ramping up its war on cash. Which, from that first article we were reading how strong of a company Visa is. It says just 4 months after the Supreme Court ruled that small business had the right to advertise lower prices for customers who pay cash, Visa is hawking a cashless society contest that gives small businesses $10,000 if they stop accepting paper altogether. Damn, that's a lot of money, right? Giving they're offering to give small businesses $10,000, 10 grand if they stop accepting paper altogether. Visa, like all card companies, likes ideas of a cashless society because it gets a cut from a business every time a customer swipes. Small business had sued to get the law overturned, saying it violated their freedom of speech. Alvin Arumugam, Senior Vice President of the Internet of Things at Visa, declined to comment on the case when he met with our Kevin Dugan. However, he said that the company will be putting out a report later this year that will show how New York businesses can save $6.8 billion in revenue a year by giving up cash altogether. So that's some more of those incentives, okay, to go cashless. So they're going to really be pushing this cashless society. And like I said, cashless is synonymous with cardless. So don't think that just cashless, well, that just means, I'll just be able to use my credit cards all the time now, or my bank cards. No, it's going to be that RFID microchip because they're going to completely do away with the cards also. It says, what living in a cashless society will look like. This is off of the New York Post also, and this was on July 14th, 2017. It says, cash could become a relic of the past if credit card companies have their way. So they're trying to make cash pretty much non-existent, Visa announced Wednesday that it will grant up to $10,000 to 50 restaurants and food vendors who stop accepting cash, which we just read that article. We were focused on putting cash out of business, said Visa's chief executive Al Kelly at the company's investor day in June. So you see, they're fully invested on taking cash out of the equation. They want cash out of circulation. They want to have it credit based. They don't even really want a card going around. They want it to just be, totally digital. Quick precept. Obviously, all you brothers should know this precept by now. It should be embedded in your brains because, this is that ultimate prophecy and, that the ultimate thing we got to watch for, which we're constantly watching. So when we see things like this, like the cashless, cardless society being pushed, and we know that pretty much is one step closer to the mark of the beast. Okay, so we're being ready for that. We're being mindful of Satan's devices. This is Revelations 13 and 16, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So this scripture is very very important, and it's very descriptive because when it says a mark, it's like, okay, well, what is that mark? What how can we describe what the mark is? And it tells you right here in the next verse. It says that no man might buy or sell. So this mark has the authority of basically buying and selling. It's the means for buying and selling. So you can't buy or sell unless you have this mark. So what in today's terms does that seem like to you? It's clearly that RFID microchip, because they're trying to implant that into your skin, or into your right hand rather, and that mark, the charagma, is an incision, right? An actual imprinting, an actual legitimate mark that's going to be put into your hand. So and you're not going to be able to buy or sell, and it doesn't matter who you are, how great you are, how rich you are, it's not going to matter. You're going to have to receive this chip, so it's going to be on a worldwide scale. So you can see that this is clearly talking about the RFID microchip, and it more so has to do with some digital terms and cashless terms, because India, you would say, would be what, a small country, a poor country, right? And they're already Visa's already making up all kinds of ways to get them onto this system, this RFID microchip system, this beast system. Watch for all these ways that Esau is trying to push this RFID microchip. This is 2 Thessalonians 2 and 11. And for this cause God shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. So, you have a lot of guys who they're just in strong delusion that they believe a lie. They believe that the RFID microchip is not the mark of the beast. Okay, and that's strong delusion. Okay, if you can't see that the RFID microchip is the mark of the beast, then clearly the Lord has put that stumbling block upon you. Okay, it says that they might all be damned who believe not the truth. So you're gonna be damned for not believing the truth. If you're saying that RFID if you're saying that the mark of the beast is a Christianity or an embargo or whatever you might be saying, some people just say it's not the RFID microchip, but then they won't tell you what it is. They're just telling you what it's not. They have all that confidence to tell you what it's not, but don't have no confidence to tell you what it really is then. So those who believe not the truth but had pleasure in unrighteousness. So a lot of these people, these guys have pleasure in unrighteousness. So they're going to be damned. They're going to be damned with that hellfire, with them thermonuclear missiles. So hope your brothers were edified. There's a couple articles proving that we're nearing the end of this thing. We are at the brink of this destruction. We're at the brink of these end prophecies. So we just need to stay up, stay strong. And until the next time, I want to say shalom.